From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. A historic day in Ottawa as Prime Minister Justin Trudeau answers the growing calls for him to step down.
I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process.
Trudeau also announced Governor-General Mary Simons agreed with his request to prorogue Parliament until March 24th. And that put some key Liberal legislation in limbo.
With Parliament prorogued, all legislative work that was in progress now dies on the order paper, as the saying goes. This means work on legislation like the Online Harms Act, aimed at holding web platforms accountable for what's posted on their sites, is dropped. There's a chance that bills that were in progress could be revived if the House adopts a motion to restore the abandoned work. But there's no guarantee that will ever happen, as opposition parties are seeking to defeat the government entirely. The next sitting will begin on March 24th with a speech from the throne, a new prime minister, and the likelihood of an early election. David Baxter, The Canadian Press, Ottawa.
Opposition leaders are reacting to Trudeau's resignation announcement. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh says it doesn't matter who leads the federal Liberal Party. Speaking with reporters in Toronto, Singh says it's time to fire the Liberals.
As soon as there is a confidence vote, we will be voting against the government. It is clear that they have let down people.
He says his party will move to bring down the minority Liberal government on the next confidence vote, regardless of the subject. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says he wants Prime Minister Trudeau to remain focused on the threat of U.S. tariffs during his remaining days in office. Ford says Canada's premiers are speaking with U.S. lawmakers to try to prevent the incoming Donald Trump administration from placing a 25% tariff on Canadian goods.
All the premiers are going to lead because every premier can bring something to the table, and that's the way we're going to move forward.
Ford says the premiers still want an in-person meeting with Trudeau on the tariffs threat, as long as he's the prime minister. Some business leaders welcome Trudeau's decision to resign. The head of the Canadian Chamber of Commerce says Canada faces unprecedented domestic and international issues and can't afford inaction. In the U.S., Congress has certified Donald Trump as the winner of the 2024 presidential election. Lawmakers convened today under heavy security, but the vote was certified without a challenge. That's in stark contrast to the violence seen at the U.S. Capitol 4 years ago when Trump lost. BC's Supreme Court has ordered WestJet to hand over files on harassment of flight attendants amid a class action lawsuit alleging widespread misconduct by pilots. The lawsuit filed in 2016 alleges WestJet breached flight attendants' contracts by breaking a promise to provide a harassment-free workplace. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the NHL has fined Toronto forward Max Domi $5,000 US for elbowing Philadelphia Flyers forward Garnet Hathaway during the Maple Leafs' 3-2 overtime win last night. The Leafs and Flyers are set to meet again tomorrow in Philadelphia. Tonight, just one Canadian game on the NHL schedule. Vancouver visits Montreal. In NBA action tonight, the Toronto Raptors are home to the Milwaukee Bucks. The Raps have just one win in their last 13 games, but they practiced with a fully healthy lineup yesterday for the first time this season. In the CFL, the BC Lions have shored up their offensive line with the addition of veteran American tackle Dejon Allen. Denis Shapovalov headlines Canada's five-man roster for its upcoming first-round Davis Cup qualifier against Hungary. That begins February 1st in Montreal. And Original Six-era defenseman and Stanley Cup winning coach Al McNeil has died at the age of 89. He died Sunday in Calgary. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.